Alright, we're back with ES Restorations. So I wanted to show you my Maximizer 3000. This thing works awesome, but we're installing a 80-gallon 2-stage 5-horse. So I'm gonna take this sticker off here. Don't need this on here no more. So this is what it is. It says it's Campbell and Hossville. It's actually what it is. So this is a nice, good setup. So I'm going to mount it on this wall. So I want to bring you over here, show you what I kind of made this diagram, figured out all the parts and pieces I need. Then I basically drew what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna actually mount it on this board, but I want to show you everything that I bought to put my air compressor in versus just buying the Maximizer 3000, where I just had to plumb in this into the wall, which this is just plastic right now. I'm gonna sheetrock this later, but see, it's mounted hard into this wall. You can't move that. So that's for my turbine. So my turbine's bam. It's easy, simple. So I got this plug-in for my 240 volt. So we don't get off too much of our subject, what we're trying to do. So here's my 240 volt, which this is basically an extension cord, and then it mounts right into this wall right here. I got this all kind of masked off so I don't get no. It's right here into the wall, so it's just plugged right there. That's just 25 feet. The wire is just like this. It's 6'2", so it's really heavy gauge. And so I got a plug-in that I'm going to use this cord and use this plug-in for the air compressor. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'll make a video just putting it all together. And then it says to let this air compressor, do not hook any lines up to it. Let it run for 30 minutes. Just let it, so all the parts in the motor and this motor and the pump can do their thing and break in all those parts. Make sure the belt's moving freely, which I'm pretty sure they test these before they leave the factory. But I wanted to show you all the stuff that I got to mount my air compressor. So I had to get 6 shutoff valves, and then I bought a 3/4 to 1/2 inch. That's going to go into the side of the air compressor. And then I bought a bunch of straights, which I made a list right here, so I didn't go and just blow a bunch of money. I made actually a diagram. I measured everything as I went, give or take a little bit, so I had enough on my board that I'm making, which if you look at, see how I think my board's 29.5. Yeah, 29.5. And if you look at like my farthest elbow to elbow is from here to here, that's only 26, so I got more than enough space. But anyway, let me get back to what I want to show you guys. So I got all the elbows, and I just got most of this out of the black iron. I'm not running my air compressor non-stop. It's only going to be for painting. I got a little Kobalt right there. It's a 30-gallon, a 1.9 horse, and this thing will run a DA. It will run basically anything else that I need. I've used this for years. I paid $400 for it years and years and years ago. So it's a good unit. That thing could pump the whatever power that I really need. That won't work for painting. That's why I bought this, because I want to show you guys the difference, and I want you guys to ask me questions so I can show you guys, you know, what's the difference and how to adjust because they are going to be different from how you adjust your guns and how you adjust the air pressure, because the air pressure is everything to painting. I'm starting to realize that a lot with this turbine. So, okay, then I got these little units. So I'm going to use like one of these, which this is a 1/2 inch. So this is a 1/2 inch male and a 1/2 inch female elbow. And this right here is a 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch reducer. So I could put this there and then put a air nipple on here, or you know, whatever I want to hook up my air hose. So I could use like one of these, and I have a bag with like some adapters, or I can use a different style, you know, if I want to use one of these T style air fittings, because you always want to use the bigger fitting, like these. See, automotive. Yeah, this is Husky, but you know, it gives you a reference. So there's a Big Daddy right there. So we can use that if we decide to. But see, that'll reduce. That's for, I'm gonna have an airline out the top. And I'll show you that later. So here's this little elbow. It's just a 1/4 inch, and then these are 1/4 inch. This is a 4 inch, and this is a 6 inch. So this is all 1/2 inch piping. So that's because that's what my air hose is. Because I'm gonna run a 50 feet, so I'm gonna run that hanger right there. So the hanger will go and be back here, and then I'm gonna drape my air hose. So my air hose is just kind of looped and hanging against the wall, which I've talked to a lot of painters here, and they've done the same thing, and they have no problems with limited space. So I got some 18 inch, I got 3 of those. I got a 12 inch, an 8 inch, and then these are 6 inch. I got 2 6 inches. I got some Great White pipe compound. So this is a 3 inch. So I think these are 2.5s. No, these are 2 inch. These are the 2.5s. And then these are just the 1.5s. And then I got these little bells. So if you come over here and you look at my diagram, so I'm going to have this air hose at the top. That's actually going to be kind of holding everything in air. So I can mount these, or if I want to, I can mount like one right here and one right here. And then I have different straps. And I bought these type of straps. See, mainly I bought the bell straps, and they're 3/4 inch. So don't, even though I'm using 1/2 inch, the pipe is pretty big around, so you want to make sure that it's not. And you know, you could, if you want to, you can put some like butyl tape, which I have some butyl tape somewhere. You could take that tape I changed everything in here, so I don't know where anything is right now. But I do have some tape that is like foam. You know what butyl tape is. It's for weather stripping. Alright, anyway, I have some of that. You can put some on the inside of here so it's not rattling your pipe. But basically, the reason I got these is, see how this is actually, if you look at it sideways, see how that's up in the air? See, I need something that can kind of pull it away, so when I flush mount it, that dang it, there we go. So when I mount this thing, that bam, see, that these will actually hold it off, because these are tight straps. So these will be tight to the wood. These ones will actually give it up in the air. And about these ones, because then these ones you could just bend and just mount it however you want. So those are pretty cool. And then I got these high flow. I know they're Kobalt, but I'm gonna try them out. If they don't work, you know, I got the T style and I got a lot of them, and so I'm gonna try those out. And then I bought this guy right here, Summit Racing. Got a heck of a deal. And then I bought an extra filter right here. So I had an extra one, and it comes with a filter inside already. So, and I'm gonna run another extra filter on the back of my gun, which here's another one. This one came from this is a DeVilbiss. This is a good one. This one's a little bit cheaper, but it came from the paint store. And there's my other dryer. So I'm gonna run my gauge first, and then I'm gonna run this other dryer, and then it's gonna loop around, and then it's gonna come into my desiccant. But it's gonna have shut-off valves and everything. So here's another little guy, which I can mount that on here. You always want to keep an extra filter. And so I'm gonna run, I got 50 feet of rubber hose. So I'm gonna run 50 feet off the air compressor. So I'm gonna have it's gonna come out with a shut-off valve there. It's gonna go into a T-fitting. You're gonna have your drain. It's gonna come down with a shut-off, and then it's gonna go out to the air hose, and it's gonna loop around, and then it's gonna come onto the board, and it's gonna come and loop around, and it's gonna go straight down, and it's gonna have a shut-off valve down here for a drain. And then it's going to go this way with a shut off before it hits this gauge and filter, and then it's going to hit that filter, and then it's going to come out. It's going to go down, and then there's going to be a T fitting that makes it go this way. It's going to come back around, then it's going to loop around with the shut off valve that's built into my DeVilbiss, and then it's going to go out, bam, and then out the wall. It's a little zigzag, but it's the only way I can do it. I was going to have it a different way, but the direction of the air, this is how I have to do it. So this is all the stuff I bought. This is like $500 or $600, or maybe even more. I bought a little paint shaker. So I got a paint shaker, which that big air compressor can push that paint shaker. I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to start working on this, and then I'll do little episodes of when I get a little bit closer to how it looks and where we're at on building it. So basically this is my diagram of how I had it. So it's air hose coming in, elbow, it's gonna straight up, but right here I'm gonna have a T fitting. So because I couldn't find a 20 to 24 inch threaded black iron pipe, so I went with an 18 and then a 3 inch, because I'm gonna have a T fitting that's gonna come up. It's gonna branch off with that 1/4 inch, so I can have just an air line that's gonna come straight from the air compressor. I'm not worried about a little bit of moisture getting into whatever, so I can actually save my desiccant dryers, because that's my dryer here, and has an extra filter dryer here before it comes down to my desiccant. So it's going to come to an elbow, come down to a T, and then it'll come down. So there's a shut-off valve here, so before it comes to the filter, it has a shut-off valve so I can drain the line, because there's going to be a shut-off valve here, and then it's going to go through that filter, come down through a 90, go down. See, this is a 1/2 inch pipe by 8 inches, and then another T, and then a 2 inch little pipe, and then this goes into another shut-off valve with a new 2 inch pipe, and then so I gotta have a reducer and a 90 right here to get it to that. That's why I went with this. So on this guy, because this one has to have a reducer because it's coming from a 1/2-inch pipe to a 1/4-inch pipe. I couldn't find a black iron pipe, so I had to reduce it. So I'm going to put this short little daddy because it's actually going to make that a little longer. And then on this one, I'm going to have the longer pipe on that guy because I got my elbow right here, and my elbow will screw right into this, and I'll screw right into the side of my devilbolus desiccant, just like that. So I'm gonna have that, you know, I gotta put some thread sealant, so I'm just showing you. So that's gonna go bam, and then out the wall right here. And that's why I needed a longer one, because it's gonna stand back actually away from the wall a little bit. So I needed to make sure that when it goes through the wall, that it has the room, because there's going to be a board and that elbow in it. And as you can see, when it's mounted there, it's actually kind of a little bit far away. So I'll show you when I get it all ready and getting closer. And just wanted to show everybody the stuff I had to buy to get this going. Or you can buy this unit that's packed into everything. You know, it's got air blower, it's got, I mean, this thing has ultimate power. You just have to toy with it to get your pressures the way you want it. So it's a little harder to adjust if you don't know nothing about a turbine. But it's not hard. It's hard because you think it's hard, but it's actually super easy once you figure it out. Now this is easy. You could just figure out the pressure you need and then change your fan and your fluid, and you're ready to rock and roll. So this is with the turbine on this car, and this is only wet sanded with 3000, and I still gotta start buffing. So you can go through all this household buying all this stuff. This thing will fit into your closet. So in this thing, I cannot move. This takes like 2 or 3 guys. It says it weighs 410 pounds. This thing says it weighs like 70. I don't think it weighs that, but it probably does. It's a little heavy, but it's top quality. I buy stuff that are made in the United States. This is the stuff that I like buying. Top quality stuff. I like Japanese stuff too. They got really high quality stuff. So, alright, well, I'll get going and then I'll start showing you when I get going. Alright, later.